If you're here, then you've entered the suck zone. The point at which Flipperflix pulls you in.
Hey,
Also,
he did
tornadoes, I guess, but that's a very scientific term.
Yes, definitely.
Suckage.
Suck zone. But I'm Tim,
Suck
and this is
zone.
Flipperflix.
I'm Adam.
I'm Sam.
Whoa.
This is my normal voice. Tim, you're on synopsis.
Nuh-uh. I wasn't sure if you guys were going to say it. Anyway, I have to reopen that. So this week we watched Twister, the 1996 version.
Apparently, there's two.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently there's a 1989 version. I didn't know about that. It's whatever.
And Google kept trying to send us to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. This is about a 2-hour runtime, hour 53 minutes. I think most people have heard of this film,
I'd agree.
which is phenomenal. It's just a film, you make tornadoes seem cool, I guess. I don't know. It's so strange. But anyway, we got this from Daily Trends. I know the Trends had to do a lot with sports and stuff. And then
Purdue Boilermakers.
yeah,
California
and then-
Tornadoes.
There you go.
Golden State
Yeah.
Warriors.
Yeah, all
Col-
of these have to do with tornadoes.
Colorado
Clearly.
Avalanche. And then the
Yeah.
Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah. But there was something in there that said something about tornadoes, and
I
that's why I
said,
picked
yeah, the California Tornadoes.
it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the
Like those literal ones, not a sports ball team.
No, you said Avalanche.
Yeah, but that was number-
Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah, that's 4.
Okay, all right. Anyway, yeah. So that's where we got. I immediately picked Twister because it just popped in my head.
Nice.
Synopsis for it: Storm chaser Dr. Joe Thornton Harding chases the largest tornado to ever strike Oklahoma as her marriage implodes and rival scientists are stopping at nothing to steal her breakthrough.
Wow. I did
So-
not know this was in Oklahoma, nor
Really?
did I know that was her
I
full
would have
name.
thought, yeah, like Kansas. Yeah.
They literally said Oklahoma like 10 times.
Did they?
Did they really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't recognize that.
Dusty's wearing an Oklahoma University ball cap.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, that could mean nothing.
It said Oklahoma on the first title screen.
Did it?
I don't believe you. Well, it could have been Oklahoma in the beginning and not later.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then they
Spielberg-
moved to Kansas.
Yeah, Spielberg set that whole scene up. He wasn't. The dad actually doesn't die in the book.
Yeah, in the in the book, I remember it is a very sad opening scene.
Mm.
It's the whole house, everything. The dad goes bye-bye. The chickens. The
Yeah.
dog
the-
almost ate it.
Dude, I was like, is that dog about to be Toto?
Yeah.
Seriously.
And then yeah, but the chickens learned how to fly,
Mhm.
so good for
Yeah,
them if they
did,
lived.
yeah.
And I guess I was confused why the dad was struggling so hard to keep the door closed. Like at a certain point, don't you just want to like hunker down and like
Yeah, you just let go.
yeah, like
Like, leave it.
I
He even
know.
says, I can't hold on any longer.
I know.
Which then he holds on for another 30 seconds.
Exactly.
Before he-
I'm gonna go ahead and say that's the adrenaline talking.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably.
He's like, I can't let my kids die. My kid.
Yeah.
He only had one.
Yeah. Also, are storm cellars still a thing? Like maybe I just don't know because I've never actually had one.
Well,
But
I,
like
I don't think they're like consistently made anymore. I think
Right.
with people when they get like slab houses, sometimes they'll have one installed underneath usually. But even in more modern, I don't think people really have them installed anymore, especially if you have a basement. There's no,
I was gonna
people
say,
don't-
what's the
Yeah.
difference between that and a basement?
nothing. Just one's got an exterior entrance and the other one's a cellar.
I feel I'm gonna go ahead and say a basement's safer in that regard because I don't have to go
I
outside
would think so. You don't have
in
to
the
go
middle of a
outside.
tornado.
You don't have to
to
get
go-
exposed. Yeah.
yeah.
I thought they were gonna straight up leave that dog. I was like, you're gonna lose a lot of fans real fast.
Yeah.
It's because
I also
nobody
have no
talked to
idea.
the dog.
Yeah.
Like the dog's just chilling and nobody's like, "Come on, dog!" Like you normally would.
That was a happy dog.
yeah.
Very happy dog. And I was just speculating on storm cellars. I mean, that's how I feel when I see houses these days. That when they're more modern, you don't really see it.
That's what I was
Old school
thinking.
thing.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely is an old thing.
Because usually they were used for storage for like food and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if you lived in like Tornado Alley, would you choose like to like finish your basement and like sleep down in the basement so you didn't have to leave during a storm? Would you feel safer staying in a basement full time?
During like certain months when you know it's active.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Probably, but at the same time, like if you're used to it, then you might be able to catch this. I don't know. You'd only be caught off guard if you were sleeping, I guess. But
They said it's
Mhm.
only
I
like within 3 minutes
Yeah,
of a
I didn't
tornado.
realize that
yeah,
was like a
or
90s
snow-
thing.
or yeah, because now we got like the sirens and shit.
Exactly.
I know. We were all children at the time of the movie. This movie was made, so I was like, I
Yeah.
don't know any of this.
I swear there were sirens when we were kids, though.
I think there were too.
There were, and you remember when they brought everybody out in the middle of the hallway, and everybody had to like
Yeah.
duck and cover.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
gonna stop a tornado. We're screwed if a tornado hits our house. We have no basement,
No storm cellar.
no storm cellar.
Central location with no windows.
That's our best bet.
All windows in this house.
Oh yeah, the house is filled with windows.
Mine too, but
All right, we have a bathroom. One bathroom, one place in our house without windows, and that's a bathroom.
Mhm.
Hold on to
Yeah.
that toilet.
the toilet is going. I'm sorry, man.
I know.
But
It's
that
held out by
pipes,
bolts and a wax ring. It's gone.
those pipes go down 30 feet. You just hold on to it.
I was like,
Uh,
okay, maybe, but pipes can break.
Yeah.
Right,
exactly.
yeah. And those were kind of old looking.
Yeah.
Those barns just were getting decimated.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that house at the end, he makes a joke. Bill makes a joke. He's like, well, the house is still standing. They had full plans to blow up that house.
Oh, that's funny.
But so this movie was actually taped in Iowa. And they were like,
See, it wasn't Oklahoma.
There you go.
yeah,
I
you're right.
knew it. I knew it by looking at it. It wasn't.
But it is set in Oklahoma.
I've never been to Oklahoma.
Me neither.
Or Iowa, for that matter.
Yeah.
There's a big part of the middle of the U.S. I've missed.
Yeah, I don't think I've been to Iowa. I drove through it.
Yeah.
Like-
And you didn't realize you stopped. You're like, I'm in Iowa?
Yeah.
But the historic society of whatever city they were in was like, yeah, so you can't blow up that house. That's a historic home.
That's awesome.
So that house still is standing.
The
And now-
Twister
That's
house.
awesome.
and it is actually a museum for the movie.
Wow, we gotta go.
Road trip. We have a reason to go to Iowa.
There you go.
Iowa, baby.
Did you,
Oh,
so to go on with Tim's like intro,
Mhm.
one of the taglines that they had, like a working tagline, like how they have working titles, was "It sucks."
Yeah.
And I think the production, the people that were paying for it, were like, "Can we not do that? I'd like people to go see it."
Yeah, seriously.
That's fantastic. Yeah, excuse me. I need people to go watch this film and pay for it.
Yeah.
I need my money back.
Oh, that's funny. So, I don't know about you guys, but I don't know any scientific jargon most of the time, and I
Same.
can't tell in this movie if they're actually saying stuff that
Is
a
meteorological.
storm chaser would say, or a meteorologist or somebody would actually say when it comes to a tornado. Like there's just so much stuff in it. I just didn't write it all down.
I
Just
understood.
constantly.
I understood the F1 through F5 because of hurricanes.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
that one, yeah.
That
That
sounds
one's a normal
legit.
scale.
that one was
yeah.
pretty easy. I was like, check. I understand that.
Yeah, I'm
Use
pretty
more
sure
terms like that.
earthquakes are the same.
Yeah,
like
the
F1
Richter
They are
scale,
by
right?
they have a magnitude and they go up.
Mhm.
Right, yeah.
And then they talk about the Doppler, and I was like,
Oh, I
yeah,
know the
I've heard
Doppler
that.
Doppler, yep.
You always want to hear about that Doppler radar as like a 7-year-old trying to miss school, going to getting a snow day.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't really remember anything else that they say, so I can't confirm or deny if that was
There's-
just
well,
like
they talk about the
jargon.
core a lot, and then
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was always called the eye of the storm, so I don't know which one would matter as slang or
Um,
like. I feel like just basically because they talk about like the updraft and the twist rate and all this stuff, and then like it's going this way and that, and then just doing stuff. I'm like, is that
Mhm.
real? Like, is that actually real? Because I feel like it could ruin the film if it's not. And they're
That's
just
true,
literally-
yeah.
because they're so like adamant in the movie about
Yeah.
this stuff. Like they're
Mhm.
very everything they say is very like, oh, like
Yeah.
This is the way. I am
yeah,
right.
it's
You
just
are wrong.
like very
High stakes for sure.
yeah.
I would guess that core is actually right, and they didn't use eye of
I
the
would
storm
say yeah.
because like eye of the storm is calm, and I would say the core of a tornado is not so calm.
But they had the cone of
I don't know.
silence, and I was like, "Is that legit?"
Wait, did they say that?
They did say it's the cone
Mm.
of silence, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Is it because you're deaf because of the wind?
No, it just like calmed down, like the eye of the storm.
Right.
Dude, to get the actual wind, they brought in a jet to shoot like a jet turbine and would blow them with that.
Could you imagine, like, you sign up to take this role and you're like, Jesus, like every day just getting pummeled by a jet engine? No
Dude,
big deal.
That's gonna be intense.
There were points in
warm.
time, yeah. And there were points in time where they were standing relatively close to a tornado and nothing around. They weren't
Yeah.
blowing. None of that. I was just sitting there. I'm like,
I swear, being that close to a tornado, there'd be winds, like, right? Because
Yeah.
outside of tornado, there's winds because it could, centrally, goes into where it's more violent or whatever.
yeah.
So there have to be winds outside of that. Because anytime I've ever had a tornado warning or threat or whatever,
It's windy as
you're like,
shit.
40-mile-per-hour winds, and you're nowhere near the tornado.
I know. I'm just sitting there like,
How
I'm
are
like,
you standing that? You don't. And they're just like, oh, and her hair's like blowing.
I know. Well, she's like wearing a jacket that's open, and I'm like, that thing would just be flapping
It's just
around.
hanging, yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm not the only one
Continuity
who
issues
noticed.
with this movie.
Come on, get your shit together, 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I did, and there were a couple times where like they like drive, so they drive to drop off Dorothy, or they'll like drive to get close, and then they'll like drive like maybe a foot or so, and they'll be like, "Okay, we're good," and I'm like, "You're really not, though." Like,
You drove like a,
Yeah, they
minute,
drove
like a
and they
yard down the road.
Yeah.
You drove a yard
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
We're good now, man.
And it's just funny, like that whole Dorothy thing, because I even said it. I was like, "That's too light. Like, how are they lifting that
Dude,
thing?
right?
Yeah.
Even it being light, that thing would be heavy as fuck.
that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
we said.
Like,
Those two could probably pull that, lift whatever. I mean,
But
even
they
if
would be
those
strained.
bars are, but they would be like,
Yeah.
power lifting that shit. They wouldn't just be like, okay, it's a shelf.
yeah, it looks like, Tim, it looked like you and I like picking up a cardboard box that had nothing in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, whoo,
Oh,
the props
man.
department made this, don't care.
Yeah. And then I thought it was funny because Dorothy was too light.
Mhm.
I don't know for what reason, because they eventually anchored it with the truck. The truck takes off,
But that was okay.
but the things are already going. So why couldn't Dorothy still work if all the shit was spilled out and it floating, and then because the truck floats anyway?
It never
I
made
don't
any
understand.
sense. I really liked the cruise control scene though. Because
Yeah, I got actually cruise control. Okay, got it. There's some shit. Yeah.
and they were like, all right, we're gonna jump at on 3.
On 3. Okay, go.
Yeah. Was he in the room with us when we were
I
making
think
these
he
jokes?
was, yeah.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, we were just
Oh,
laughing because
man.
it's like, okay, go. And then they're like standing outside, like awkwardly hovering over the door.
Yeah.
Just jump out. Don't get
Yeah.
closer. That's not gonna help.
Yeah.
But
Craziness.
Oh my. This makes me think of the Always Sunny. How
Storm
they
of the
made
Century?
No. The newer season where they try to make the new Lethal Weapon,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they do
yeah.
like the tsunami and stuff. Because this film basically does that. It makes a natural disaster into some form of entity or enemy. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the bad guy, yeah.
and it just made me think of that. It just cracks me up because it's like, I don't know.
They did have Dr. Jonas Miller.
Mm-hmm.
He was the evil
That's
version
true.
of them with his cubes.
All his
Yeah.
technology
with
and
his
his cubes.
cubes. They were the same thing, but cubes.
Yeah.
I also
Wait.
thought it was funny that in the beginning with Dorothy, they were balls that were like the flashing. I'm like, there's no way. Like, where's your power source? Like, what are you doing? with that?"
Right.
Yeah.
And then later on, they must have ditched those because they were just like silver balls.
And they added
They
the
were like,
aluminum
"This was
cans
good
on
enough."
it.
And I was like, there's no antenna anymore. They're just like silver balls that they're sticking stuff to. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I really want to know, like, okay, so I know that Tornado Alley gets hit a lot.
Yeah.
But they were getting them like every 20 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
That just seems outrageous
But-
to me.
I mean, it was like through the course. If you watch it, I guess it's like through the course of like 2 days or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it still seems unrealistic to me that it would be that active. But I
Yeah,
don't
they
know.
saw what,
I
like 4 or 5 tornadoes?
And they were all in relatively close distance, so they could just drive there in like 10
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah, every time. They just always happen to be 20 minutes from a tornado.
Yeah.
You're right.
But they weren't smart enough to pack food. Like they don't pack food for these chases
No,
because
they
they
wanna
like
go
begged
to-
to go to her aunt to get food, and I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, do you guys not like pack food for yourselves? Like, don't you think you're gonna be out all day? There were a few like little details that you're like, what?
Philip
Yeah.
Seymour Hoffman's character of Dusty is
Is it?
hilarious. Because I was staring at him like, is that who that is? What the
Yeah.
fuck?
And he was just like high the whole time, or
Yeah, man.
living life. I don't
Dude, tornado.
Yeah, tornado, dude.
know.
He wasn't. Yeah, like he was in Oklahoma high. He wasn't even like the surfer dude high.
Yeah.
Right.
No, but that poor therapist, sex therapist lady,
Melissa, was that her name?
Melissa. Yeah, that seems right.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Melissa.
She was on for a ride, and then she's like, "Oh, he really misses this. He was just gonna be
Yeah.
a weatherman."
It takes
Like
her a
some nasty
while to
insult for
piece
them.
out, though. Like,
Dude, she
Yeah.
went through some shit.
yeah.
You really did.
I don't know. I guess kudos to her for sticking around that long. I feel like she could have easily noped out
Yeah.
of there pretty early.
I think that was this might not be like a good relationship. And then she was like, well, I don't know. She was like second guessing it. And then later on, she's like, yeah.
Yeah, this guy's a thrill
Confirmation.
seeker.
I'm done.
I'm out. I'm out.
Aye.
Yeah.
So this one, I don't know. I think this film is pretty funny.
What?
All around.
Yeah. I think my favorite stunt they had to do was drive through a house.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah, that was so. Come on.
We're going
Come
through.
You really have to suspend belief for this, but
Mhm.
disbelief, suspend both. I don't know.
Just enjoy the ride, man.
Yeah. What'd you think of the explosion stunt? Did you guys see that explosion?
Who's right in front of us?
Okay. So there's a story behind that one.
Do tell.
Okay. Are you aware that explosions and stuff like that can be a bit pricey?
That makes
Sure, yeah.
sense, yeah.
Now imagine they missed recording the shot the first time.
Oh
That's
no.
hilarious.
Yeah, so they had to they supposedly had to redo it because they missed the shot. And it's rumored at a budget of $500,000 to reshoot that.
Fuck.
Yeah, just a quick $500,000.
No
Just-
biggie.
Yeah.
No big. Well, in the 90s too.
I know.
Yeah. That's funny.
And then another really funny note on this movie. I don't know what to really call this because it's not really a note on the movie, but this was the first movie released on DVD
Really?
ever.
Wow.
Twister.
That's
Twister.
wild.
All right.
All
but-
the movies.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Twister.
So it had one movie that accompanied it being released on DVD. This is considered the first, and the other one's considered the second, but they're both released together. When Mars Attacks is the
Wow.
the first two
Nice.
movies ever released on DVD.
Nice.
Twister.
So weird.
When Mars
Those
Attacks.
two.
Why?
Classic movies, man.
I love that.
90s,
That's great.
dude.
Yeah,
That's great.
wild times.
Did it help you guys know that like Bill Paxton, his character's name was Bill? Like that just made it less confusing. Like I knew that
Mhm.
was Bill and I could just call him Bill.
Right. Yeah. Just call it
Exactly.
Bill. You could do that more often in movies.
Yeah, it just makes it easier for us.
Like Cillian Murphy just needs to be Cillian everywhere he goes.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
Every movie.
Perfect.
So people stop calling him Killian.
yeah,
Mhm.
like why would they try and use a name like Killian? There's no K
Yeah.
in his name.
Oh.
I liked the random appearances of Rabbit, also known as Alan Ruck,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cameron from Ferris Bueller.
Classic. I feel like it was a decently big cast because
It was. It felt like it. Yeah.
it felt, yeah, just like every person, even if it's just like a random person in the background on the team, like they'd show up and you'd be like, hey, it's that guy.
They'd be like character
Yeah.
actors.
Recognize pretty much everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, like the villain was the main character in The Princess Bride,
Mm.
or Robin
Mhm.
Hood Men in Tights, or he's the main.
Saw.
What?
He's in Saw.
Really?
Oh yeah, he
The
is.
first one.
Wow.
Never seen Saw. Don't really want to.
That's fair.
But he's also in Stranger Things. He's the mayor in season 3 or 4.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's a really shitty mayor.
Definitely.
Oh, you know.
It has to be season 3, right? Because, yeah, that's the one. I remember things, guys.
Did you guys notice towards the end when they're in the red truck and she's telling him go left, right, as shit falls in front of him?
Mhm.
That a tractor breaks the windshield, and then in the next scene, the windshield
It was
is not
fine.
broken.
I feel like that happened a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like
believe you.
there was like it actually happened. Like, you know, stunt driver or some shit is like driving and it fucking smacked the windshield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they were just like, so they just used like a different truck.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
my-
also-
we can't drive around in that anymore.
yeah, exactly.
I thought it was funny. They run over the log, and I'm like, how your car's fucked.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If shit breaks underneath it, like that's hard to fix.
Yeah.
Yeah, his truck was going through some shit, But his tires only took 10 to 15 minutes to fix, so it wasn't that big of a
Yeah.
damage.
Yeah, it's great.
Like,
Yeah.
we'll
It
get you
did
right
learn
back
how
on
to
the
fly
road.
at the end.
Yeah,
It did.
exactly.
Yeah.
Still
Those
doesn't-
tires might need a little more time.
I thought so too. I was like, this is bullshit.
Fun fact: they actually had a NASCAR crew in, and they just fixed it for him. Ding, ding, ding,
In the
ding,
middle
ding.
of Oklahoma.
Yeah,
What?
Checks out.
Oh, that makes sense.
the pit crew.
But I will say, like, I wasn't that bothered by the CGI, except for in certain spots. Like, I feel like the
Yeah.
big tornado looked fine. Like, some of the bigger tornadoes looked fine. It was more like the smaller tornadoes at the beginning. I was like,
Yeah.
that's 90s. And then, like, some of the explosions, I was
satellite?
like, that's 90s.
How about that satellite
Yeah.
though?
Yeah.
They had one tornado in particular that you're like, oh, that doesn't look good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
One of the small, you're just like, that looks like shit.
You guys
The
probably
rest
should
of
have
them
worked.
seem fine.
Yeah,
I don't know.
the big one at the end looked legit.
Yeah, it did. I was
Oh, yeah.
shocked. They spent
I
all their
like-
money on that.
Right, they saved up for the F5. How do you guys like that the tornadoes growl?
They growled.
You didn't notice that?
I didn't
like, and
notice
sometimes
it.
they would be like,
Well, that's because Tim. That's because they're the villain, and you need to know that. You need
And
to know
always,
they're the
I always,
villain.
that's something I always remembered when watching the movie is the tornadoes fucking growl. Because
I
in real
didn't
life,
notice.
people say they sound like trains,
Yes, I've heard that.
Oh.
but in the movie they sound like fucking lions. They're
Now I gotta like rewatch one of those scenes because I did not notice that.
There's one very particular. I think it's when they go under the bridge that also would not protect them.
Yes.
Yeah,
That one in the beginning, I think it's that one. It like is very overly done, like a growl. It's just like
Roar.
That's
It's like,
amazing.
"Whoa."
Tim. What if it made noises like this though?
That would be beautiful.
Remake Twister with that.
Yeah.
The whole time
Oh
that
no,
shark
we
laugh.
gotta do like yeah.
Oh,
That'd be a fun
man.
little video to
Just
make.
yeah, you just gotta like somehow. Well, you just put it in the background, just as they're running and screaming.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like you gotta put like googly eyes on it.
Yeah, I was
like-
gonna say, you can put eyes on it. They're like bouncing around and shit.
Perfect.
Oh man.
Oh my.
Well, what did you guys think of the ending?
Oh,
Have you seen
What
that
was-
sky? We've seen enough.
we've seen it now.
Yeah.
Oh. Let me just start making
Classic
out now.
90s.
Oh my god.
And then the full pan out.
Yeah.
Right.
To see the devastation. And then the one house that's still standing. Yeah.
Right.
I feel like it was fine, except for we've seen enough and we gotta make out for 20 minutes.
You're right.
Like,
Yeah,
we
no,
could have
no.
not did that, but
Oh,
otherwise it
God.
was fine.
You remove that line, it's a lot less cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a 90s film, okay?
True.
They do their thing in the 90s, man. Did their thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get to the scores real quick, unless Tim, you got something. The critics gave it a 63%.
Okay.
The audience a 58%.
Surprising.
IMDb with a 6.4 out of 10, and Google with an 85%.
Huh.
I felt like a lot of I thought with this movie being so well known, I thought I would have had higher scores.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, Amazon had 5 stars, which, you know,
That's weird.
user rated.
Yeah.
I know. But Tim, what are you saying with this one?
Well, let's go to the algorithm here. So I gave the dialogue a 3 because I didn't know it was up to the scientific jargon, right? I didn't know
Yeah.
if it was legit or not. So I think a 3 was fine. It worked out for the film. It was just silliness, cheesiness, intense, weird sayings, all sorts of weird stuff. I think the plot for what it was, actually, I gave it a 4 because it was pretty good. I think because
Yeah.
they did it like at first you read it, you're like, no way. But then by the end of the film, you're like, okay, they did it
Okay.
somehow. They fucking pulled it off. Acting, I gave it a 3 just because it was just. I don't know. It just felt forced on everybody's part. Vibe pacing, I gave a 4. Obviously, the vibe is great. Music, I think I gave it Damn That's Sexy because I think it fit very well. And cinematography, I gave it Damn That's Sexy because for the time, damn that's sexy.
They
So
had some good shots.
they did. Staying at a hotel, I'd stop. So I guess my flip on, or it says flip on with round of applause, which I would agree with that. I would definitely flip this movie on. I don't watch it too often. I haven't watched it in a long time other than this. But I think they somehow nailed like tornadoes as a bad guy in a movie, and I don't think that's done very often. Like unless you're talking Sharknado, which is just
Yeah.
a complete meme.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This was
like-
intended to be a serious movie with like comedic relief, and it was fucking. I think it actually worked, which is hilarious. So I think it's worth a watch for like almost anyone, just to watch it once, just to giggle and see how ridiculous it is. But
Tim's over here saying like it's happening. Like the happening isn't a scary movie,
Happening.
like isn't a serious movie.
yeah, well, they struggled with that one.
I also had it flip on. I forgot to take my scores, but they were more or less aligned with what you said, Tim. I will say, like, I swear Bill Paxton, like Bill's character, his face looks like he was like giving it his all, but then his voice
Yeah.
just was like he
Not.
was reading a line.
It wasn't there. Yeah.
Like his whole body and everything looked like he was. I think you know what it was. Maybe he had to do it in post, like when they have to do ADR.
Oh, maybe.
because it was too loud in the
Oh,
real,
yeah,
like,
maybe.
and they had to go over his lines, and I'm sure you get a lot less passion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, probably.
yeah, I don't think I said the music was sexy. I don't think I said it. I didn't say it wasn't, but I was not applicable.
Mm-hmm.
But I did say flip it on.
Nice. I think we're all aligned. I think there was one thing, Tim, that you said that I rated lower. Maybe it was vibe. I put as it's all right. So I think that one's
Yeah.
lower than yours. But otherwise, I was going through it. I was like, yes. The same thing
Yeah.
that I put. But it's funny because my algorithm had me on the fence. Like it literally came down to the hotel one.
Yeah.
And I think that's funny to me because it's more on the fence than I actually am. Like I would stop. I would watch it again. Like it's a good
Yeah.
movie. It's very like a product of the time, which is great. I
Yeah.
feel like it's one of those movies that you turn on that's old and you're like, yes, this
Yep.
is what I want to see. So yeah, it's good. Definitely worth a shot.
Nice. So we will go ahead and get to next week. So let me spin this real quick.
Dare you?
I dared. And we got dealer's choice. So I get to pick any movie I want.
How dare you?
I know, right?
Let's
It was
see
my
what
turn.
you come up with.
Mars Attacks.
Yes, that's such a classic.
Maybe, but maybe not.
Gotta get it on the pod.
If you like this episode, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at FlipperFlix. I guess we don't have to say it anymore, but I'm going to do it anyway because I'm old. Follow along, see what we're doing. Interact if you'd like to.
Yeah, hit us up there. I don't know. You can also give us recommendations on other of those sites, or you can go to our website at www.flipperflix.com. Yeah, we do a couple recommendations each season, so we just love we're trying to pander right now. We're trying to get you to come to our website, give us some clicks, and recommend us a movie because, we're going to have to pick those eventually, and more the merrier, right?
Yeah.
You can also, speaking of pandering, you can also rate us. rate and review us on Apple, Spotify now. Oh, we also do polls there occasionally. So that's always fun.
Answer Adam's questions.
Answer all of my questions, God damn it.
And if you're wondering, when can I catch these fools? You can catch us at 1 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays. We're on Spotify, as Adam mentions, where he does his polls. We're on Apple, Google, Amazon. I believe you can subscribe on the various platforms, and that way you'll get like a push notification or it'll come right into your queue. So that way you don't ever have to look at the clock on Thursday. It'll just be there for you.